Less than 24 hours away, Lindsay Street will be made great again. 5 o'clock Friday is when everybody will be setting up tents, all of that kind of jazz. Welcome back. Eddie Radosevich, George Stoya here from outside of Gaylord Family Oakland Memorial Stadium. Outside of the studio today, George, it's here. Good. It's here. Football season's here.
Yeah, it's a little hot out, but it's not too bad, actually. I think it's going to be pretty good, but I'm super excited. We're going to be in there 24 hours, like you said. Going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We were with the team all week. You've seen the YouTube shows. Make sure that you're liking, you're subscribing, you're telling all of your friends, everybody that you literally know about Soonerscoop.com on YouTube. George?
Well, make sure, let's first, before we get into it, make sure we thank our cameraman, our producer.
That's right.
Kerry Murdoch.
That's right.
He's out here today. We usually lock him in the producer room, but we want to make sure we thank him.
No yelling this time.
No yelling. But thank you to Kerry Murdoch to put this production together.
Absolutely. We talked to Jeff Levy, we talked to Ted Roof, we talked to Brent Venables at the beginning of the week. A lot of interesting storylines going into Oklahoma's first game of the season. Tawi Walker, we talked about that on the Soonerscoop.com YouTube page. The depth chart breakdown. You've wrote about him, kind of his journey, getting from a little unknown running back to moving to Arizona, to JUCO player, to co-starter now with Marcus Major.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting to get to see him kind of have his moment. We'll see what that running back room looks like by the end of the season, but he is going to get his chance. Marcus Major named the other co-starter. I know we'll dive into a little bit more of the depth chart. I know another guy that we want to talk about, Justin Harrington.
Yeah, and that has been a major storyline at the cheetah position. Him and Deshaun McCulloch, they're both going to play this season. You wrote a little bit about him that's coming up on Friday, correct?
Yeah, no, I'm writing a big feature on him coming out Friday morning. Should be out now if you're watching this on Friday. He's had such a unique career path. You think about the JUCO route, tears his ACL, goes in the transfer portal, new coaching staff, obviously Lincoln Riley leaves, Brent Venables welcomes us back, he walks onto the team. I don't know if people know this, Eddie, and this will be in the story. He was cooking food. He grew up cooking, working in his dad's restaurant. He was cooking food all of last season to help pay for rent because he was no longer on scholarship. So just an awesome story. Going to be great to see him out there. I know he's had a great fall camp. Deshaun McCulloch, who he's been battling, we're going to see him too. So lots of really good stories on this team, and Saturday is just going to be fun to see what does Team 129 look like.
Here is Brent Venables as well as Justin Harrington talking about his journey back to Oklahoma.
Again, consistency, his work ethic, as a vocal leader, competes at an incredibly, high level. He's been consistent, as I said, with his body of work and his commitment to understanding the details, and then consistently has made plays, since we started back up, both in the spring and the summer and then, in fall camp. But he's long, he's athletic, he's explosive, super aggressive, he can tackle. He's really starting to understand all of it around him, which is how he's coming into his own as a player.
One of my favorite quotes that I tell my teammates is, I know what being at home feels like during this time. It's not fun, at all. You're very determined, you're very motivated with working out, but you never, for me personally, I never knew what it was going to be because I made an impulsive decision, but, I never knew who was going to give me another chance, and that's why every day I just have the respect and I have the thankfulness and the love of Coach V and his staff, and as well as my teammates, to have me come back and not give me a role, but allow me to earn the role and allow me to earn the respect and trust from my teammates. And that's why I'm very passionate about this season. I'm very passionate about this first game because this is what's gonna be taped to my name. This is what's gonna be attached to my name, and with family coming as well, I'm gonna be amped up. But it's very important to me.
Truly an incredible story. I mean, that is a great college football story of Justin Harrington turn into a somebody for Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, he's a guy that I think we've heard a lot about, and everybody's like, can he be that guy? Is this going to be his year to finally step into that big role? And so I think there's a lot of people rooting for him, but I think there's also a lot of people saying we want to see it on the field. So maybe we'll see it on Saturday, maybe we'll see it progress over the season, but he's just a kid that you definitely root for.
He's played in a lot of games. I kind of consider Saturday the first debut for Justin Harrington, and that will come against Arkansas State. Earlier this week, we were able to catch up with Matt Stolz, the Arkansas State. That's damn right. Lindsay Street is coming back. That is right. Thank you.
Oh, your fans are everywhere. They're everywhere.
We
They're
love
everywhere.
to see it. We love to see it. We did catch up with Matt Stolz, though, the play-by-play man for Arkansas State, talking about the Red Wolves coming to town on Saturday. We welcome in Matt Stolz, the play-by-play voice for Arkansas State football, as well as Arkansas State basketball and Arkansas State baseball. Matt, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Hey, great to be with you guys.
It's been a trying couple years in but Jones's first couple years in Jonesboro. Just kind of give us an idea of the type of rebuild that he is undertaking right now after what was a very successful run for Arkansas State with the 9 bowl games from 2011 to 2019.
Yeah, those were the years, and it was a really, really nice 9-year run. I know George was around for part of that, but 9 straight winning seasons, 9 straight bowl games. There were 5 conference championships during that span, and the last 3 years we've seen Arkansas State have 3 losing seasons, and the last 2 have been under Butch Jones. And what Coach Jones did when he got here is he really tried to build this program back up, and he tried to do it from the ground up. And what he's done is he's turned in back-to-back #1 recruiting classes in the Sun Belt Conference, which, considering the record the last couple of years, that's quite a feat. I've never seen a coaching staff recruit quite as hard as what they do. And they've really stayed true to their core values in that they're trying to recruit through the high school ranks and build this program up really the way he wants it to be built. He's trying to put his own culture in place. At the same time, he's tried to bring in some guys and address some immediate needs through the transfer portal. So, we're seeing a little bit more of that now, and hopefully we see a big jump in year 3 for Coach Jones. And really, year 3 has been the big year at his other stops at Central Michigan, Cincinnati, and then at Tennessee. You look at his combined record in those 3 years, it's 29-9. With 2 conference championships. So this has really kind of been the turning point for Coach Jones during his history as a head coach, and we're hoping to see the same kind of results this year.
I think Oklahoma fans are quite familiar with heading into the transfer portal, and that is one of the ways that you can kind of quickly get your feet back underneath you in college football these days. Arkansas State, very familiar with the transfer portal. You look up and down this roster, they have additions from just about everywhere across the country. Who are some of the guys that are sticking out to you here going into the 2023 season? Obviously, at quarterback, that's certainly a position that maybe upgraded at. Who are some of the transfer portal guys that are expected to make immediate impacts this year?
Yeah, JT Shrout, I'll start there. He's come in at the quarterback position, and he was the starting quarterback a season ago at Colorado. And I think the whole country saw the moment he lost his job when Deion got up at the press conference and said, "Hey, this is my son, and he's the new quarterback." So at that point, we all found out that JT Shrout was going to have to transfer if he wanted to start. And fortunately for us, he's found a home at Arkansas State. We brought in some other guys through the portal as well. Zach Wallace is one guy in particular that we're really excited about. He's come in at the running back position after having a couple of really standout seasons at Tennessee Martin. He's an Arkansas native, and great to have him back in the state. We really feel like that running back room has a chance to be a strength of the team. Jaquez Cross is kind of that speedster type back that we feel can really help us in the backfield as well. And then Brian Snead is a third running back that you can look for on Saturday. He's a guy that's a former 5-star recruit, began his career at Ohio State, and he's certainly expected to be a big part of that A-State backfield. And then you look at the receiving core. We feel like we've upgraded there. Corey Rucker, who began his career at Arkansas State, had a couple of really nice seasons to begin his career. He transferred to South Carolina a year ago and has come back to Arkansas State. He missed it. He wanted to be back here. And I thought it was really interesting when getting ready for this game. Your tight end is actually in the same position. He had been at OU for 3 years, went to South Carolina, and now is back. So we feel like Corey Rucker, along with Jeff Foreman and Courtney Jackson, who's a Syracuse transfer. He actually was their leading receiver at Syracuse 2 years ago. He's come in to be part of that receiving core as well. And as long as we're talking about the offense, the biggest thing that Coach Jones has tried to address since he got here was the offensive line. And when he came in, they were undersized. There was really no depth across that offensive front. And we're going to throw a starting five on Saturday out there that has an average weight of 322 pounds. We have 3 transfers that will start on the offensive line. 2 of them are Ole Miss transfers. And then our center, Jacob Bear, is a guy that started every game the last couple of years at Lamar, and he's really the anchor of that offensive line. So we feel like we've had some upgrades there. Obviously, it's a huge challenge facing the kind of defense with Oklahoma this weekend that we're going to see. But we do feel like we've loaded up with some more weapons than what we've had the last couple of years.
Matt, you just went through almost the entire offense. I know you mentioned Corey Rucker. He's a guy I remember his freshman year at Arkansas State, kind of a standout. He's a guy I think OU fans will want to watch on Saturday. He's somebody that I think could have a big game. Jeff Foreman, you mentioned him. He's an Oklahoma guy, grew up right down the street, Oklahoma City. I'm wondering about the defense. I know Butch Jones is also known for his defense. Who are some guys that may stand out on Saturday and some playmakers that are expected to step up for Arkansas State?
I think the strength of the defense is the secondary. We actually have quite a bit of experience returning to the secondary. On that back end, the safeties, everybody's back. Eddie Smith is a guy that's a former transfer from Alabama. He will start at one of the safety spots alongside Travion Thomas, who's certainly turned into one of the better players on the defense. The team captain is Justin Parks. He's part of that A-State safety core and certainly one of the better players defensively. And then at the corner spots, really feel like we've got more depth there than I can remember. Sammy Johnson and Leon Jones are guys that have played plenty of games before. We've also brought in a guy in the last 3 weeks from UCF. Justin Hodges had started the last couple of years at Central Florida, and he's come in very quickly, and in just the last 3 weeks has earned a starting spot at one of the corner spots. You look at the rest of the defense, I feel like we're deeper in the linebacking core. Malik Straker has been a really big bright spot the last couple of years in that linebacking core. Char Willikis, a former Michigan State transfer, his older brother Kenny, a former All-American at Michigan State, and has gone on to play in the NFL. Char will start at Mike linebacker. And then you look up front, and we're a little bit younger there on that defensive line, but I think that we have more talent. I really like our defensive ends. Kieran Crawford and Ethan Hassler have a chance to have big years coming off the edges. The biggest spot we really needed to upgrade on that defense was at those 2 tackle spots. And really, and I know this is especially an issue in the group of 5, but even in the Power 5, right? Defensive tackle is the hardest spot anymore to recruit. So finding depth at that position is a big challenge. We do have a couple of transfers. One guy had actually transferred in last year from Vanderbilt, and Tank Sujic. Also have a North Alabama transfer, Micah Bland. He's come in after starting the last couple of years at defensive tackle for them. He's earned a starting spot alongside Tim Hardiman. And then we also have a transfer from Princeton at defensive tackle that has earned his way into the mix in Nate Marty. So we really have an upgraded defense. They took a big step from year 1 to year 2 under Coach Jones, and we feel like they have a chance to be one of the better defenses in the Sun Belt Conference this season.
Matt, I mean, Oklahoma fans can relate to the defensive tackle recruiting.
The SEC's grabbing all of them is what's happening.
That's exactly what's happening. But Matt, just going into Saturday, obviously it's one of those things where Arkansas State's a big underdog, and I'm sure the end goal is to pull off a stunner. And a few years ago, I remember they beat Kansas State in
35-31 in 2020, right?
I remember I was at that game, big win. But what is the goal, and what do you want to see out of Arkansas State leaving Saturday, win or loss? What is the expectation?
Well, I'd love to see them get off to a good start. In these type of games, the teams that do pull upsets or do come in and are competitive in games like this, they've got to get off to a good start. We can't get down 14-0 in the first 5 minutes, or else it's going to be a really long day. If we're able to come out, establish the run game, I talked about those running backs. I talked about that bigger and improved offensive line. We've got to come out and show it, move the ball, be able to generate some first downs early in the ball game, and kind of control the clock a little bit. Need to keep the offense on the field as much as possible. That really is the same formula anytime you go into an environment like the Red Wolves are going to face this Saturday. So they need to do that. They would love to keep the game competitive into the fourth quarter. And look, that's the kind of things that have happened here in the past. And the Red Wolves have won 2 of their last 3 games against Big 12 opponents. And, there haven't been just a ton of them over the years, but you mentioned the 2020 win against Kansas State. And the other win in that time period was in 2008 when the Red Wolves faced a Texas A&M team that was still in the Big 12 at the time and won the season opener in College Station. So, we've seen games like this. I've called games like that, but those are the keys. You got to get off to a good start in a game like this.
Even with all the new guys through the transfer portal, it would seem, though, that this should be somewhat of a comfortable situation playing at the Horseshoe a year ago up in Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, they've played in some big environments before. And, the formula for a lot of Group of 5 schools, like in Arkansas State, you do have this game on the schedule, the Power 5 opponent, where you're at least going to leave with a check. And then you try to, schedule a couple of other Group of 5 teams, one home, one on the road, and like opponents that the fan base can get excited about. And in our case, we open up the home schedule next week against one of our biggest and our longest rival, Memphis. So that's a big game coming up for next week and the season opener. And then we play UMass coming up a little bit later on, and then we have an FCS opponent every year. So that's kind of the formula: Power 5 and FCS, and 2 Group of 5 opponents with those 4 non-conference games. And of course, that Power 5 opponent is one that we've seen every year. We had an athletic director that George knows, and Terry Mahajer, who's now at Central Florida, and one of his biggest goals, and one thing that he was very, very good at, was going out there and trying to find the biggest paycheck every year. And he was good at that. And if you're going to do that, yes, you get to play in some big time environments, but you're also playing a top 10 opponent in a lot of those years. And we've gone to Alabama a couple of times, and to Auburn, and to USC, venues like that. And you mentioned Ohio State a season ago. So this is nothing new for an Arkansas State football program to be going up against, but at the same time, they're excited about the challenge.
I think it's $1.3 million that Oklahoma's paying Arkansas State this weekend, so obviously a big paycheck. Last one for me, Matt. What uniforms are they wearing on Saturday? Because I love the all-white Arkansas State uniforms with the white helmet. Please tell me that's what they're bringing to Norman.
Well, you're getting your wish, George.
Awesome.
We're going all white. What is it? The Stormtrooper look.
Yeah.
I went blank there. I was thinking Star Wars, but yeah, we're going with the Stormtrooper look on Saturday.
That's their best look. I can't wait to see that.
It looks great.
I like it. Matt, just last question. What is a successful season for Arkansas State? Taking that next step. What would that look like for the Red Wolves fans?
Getting back to a bowl game, I think, is the biggest thing this year. And look, Coach Jones, he has, as I mentioned earlier, he's done a really good job at staying the course. If he's looking to get out of here in a hurry, he doesn't act like it through recruiting. What he wants to do is build up a program his way through the high school ranks. And we talked about it this morning. I've met with him here in the last hour or so, and he mentioned staying the course, and he likes the trajectory of this program right now and what they've done in recruiting. And they feel like once they can get around to next year, then they can take an even bigger step. But yeah, at the same time, he's hungry to get some more wins this year. It'd be great to get back to a bowl game. As I mentioned earlier, we had that incredible run of 9 straight years and going to those bowl games every single year and winning the 5 conference championships. I think it would do a lot for our fan base and just the morale of the program if we could find a way back to a bowl.
Very good, Matt. We appreciate it. Have a safe trip out to Norman, and maybe we'll bump into you at the stadium on Saturday.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it. And once again, a special thank you to Matt Stolz, and thank you, George, for kind of setting that up.
Yeah, he's my guy.
You spent some time with him over in Jonesboro, right?
Yeah, I actually interviewed him for a couple stories back in the day, so it's good to catch up with Matt. Excited to see him on Saturday, and Arkansas State, they got a decent media contingent, so.
Will they all be making the trip?
I'm sure they will.
Okay.
So
it's going to be a little bit of a reunion.
Yeah, a little bit.
With you and Eli Letterman, it's kind of like a former Arkansas State beat writer bowl, if you will.
Eli and I were talking about that. He obviously spent some time there too, so it'll be fun. It'll be exciting, and I'm interested to see what the Red Wolves bring.
Listen, I mean, Oklahoma's a 36.5 point favorite on Saturday. You don't expect a game. What is some stuff, though, that you want to see from Oklahoma? Obviously, you want to see a clean football game. You want to be able to see somebody, offensive line being able to dominate a defensive line. That's where I'm really kind of focusing in on is can Oklahoma move people off the football, and then reversely getting pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run, little things out in the secondary as far as some of the new guys back there, nobody running wide open. Those little things kind of matter, and especially these first 5 games.
Yeah, no, I think they need to dominate the trenches. That's where it starts, like you said. When you're going up against an opponent like this, and I know Matt talked about having so many different transfers, a lot of guys from Power 5 schools, but they're trying to mesh as a program, and Oklahoma's coming back. They've got guys that have played a lot of football. They should go out and really dominate this game. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for young guys, right? You want to see the Peyton Bowens of the world, PJ Atabare. This is their chance to go out and kind of show that they are worthy of those 5-star rankings or whatever, and if they can be contributors or possibly starters by the end of the season. So that's going to be fun. We're going to get to see a lot of different guys play, I think, which is going to be, again, a lot of fun to watch, and I'm super excited.
It's been a really good week, and Arkansas State, they're picked 6th preseason in the West in the Sun Belt. So it's a massive rebuild that Butch Jones is undertaking in Jonesboro. So it's going to be a lot of fun, though. 11 a.m. for Oklahoma, Arkansas State. Season opener. It's been a good week, George. It's been a really good week. We've had a lot of different shows, a lot of different stuff going on for Soonerscoop.com. It's a great time to join Soonerscoop.com. 25% off or 50% off annual membership for anybody interested. Go to Soonerscoop.com. So if you've missed anything throughout the week, we have put together a best of Scoop HD. So in case you missed it, here's what's been going on in Norman.
Year of efficiency.
Sometimes it's surreal, like seeing stuff on social media and everyone loving it. And I'm like, dang, I'm really at Oklahoma. But like when I'm out here, you don't really notice because it's just you and the guys you've been with for almost not a year, 6 months, 7 months.
Well, it's been a win-win. The new players we added were certainly good players that are going to fighting to get every rep, and the guys that were here, it's made them better.
We're really anxious. We left a lot out there last year, and it was a disappointing season, and all our fans felt it. We represent a whole lot more than just the 100-plus guys on the team. So we're ready to get out there, set the name right, leave a legacy, and just put it all out there.
You feel like you'll be better for lots of reasons. We're a more physical team, I believe, at the point of attack, particularly on defense. Thought we were not necessarily not physical on offense, but on defense, I did not think we were. I thought we were soft.
It's a different role, man. It's not just like I'm filling in a spot this week. It's I'm a starter. This is my position, and this is my O-line, and I'm keepers of my brother, so I'm just ready to do my job.
It feels like a month. Man, I literally remember just getting here for a winter workout, so it's crazy how fast this all has happened. But man, I'm so excited to get my first season going in the Big 12. It's going to be fun.
I think the biggest thing is just for us making sure that we're having great conversations in between drives. As soon as he comes over and gets the sheet and gets on the phone, man, those conversations just continuing to be as high level as possible and being able to see exactly what he saw, speaking the same language. He does a great job of that, and so expect that to continue.
I feel really good. You know, I feel confident in our guys and everyone contributing, and just excited to, you know, finally play someone else and put all the work to use. So I'm excited for that and can't wait to step out there.
Extremely excited, man. Can't wait to get out there. We've been practicing hard. We've been grinding every day in the summer. Just can't wait to showcase our talent. All the hard work gonna pay off soon.
We're very excited about where this is going and, you know, just where we are compared to a year ago, and, you know, physically and mentally, and where our depth is. And it's just we're very excited about it. We're excited to go out there and go to work and execute and, you know, show off all the work we've put in the offseason.
Oh, yes, sir, definitely. Just like you said, I think we've been great, whether it's in running, just doing conditioning, or actually playing ball and doing walkthroughs, anything. I think we're precise with everything that we're doing, and I think we're going to put on a show on Saturday.
A little bit of a vibe check from what was happening with some of the coaches, some of the players during Arkansas State post-practice.
Did you make that all yourself?
I did.
That was pretty impressive.
Thank you.
That was good work.
I did. I'm a professional. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was good to get out to Lindsay Street. I want to get to some bold predictions. We'll give you some game predictions for the season opener coming up on Saturday. You did break a little bit of news today, though, as far as what Oklahoma's doing in the NIL space. And I know that it's a lot of stuff that kind of goes over my head. OU has created basically a new NIL division pairing with Altius?
Yeah.
Okay. What is that?
That's a good question.
That's a layman term. What is it?
So, look, it's this new division, NIL division, athlete service division is what they're calling it exactly. They're partnering with Altius, which they've been partnered with Altius since 2022. Now, this is one of the leading NIL consulting firms in the country. They work with, I think, 29 different Power 5 schools. And basically what they're doing is they're bringing in a couple people from Altius, an executive GM, as well as a athlete revenue analyst. And basically these people will come in, connect athletes with businesses to better simplify some of these NIL deals. So what that basically means is Oklahoma is trying to help student athletes get more NIL deals than they are currently. So what that looks like, we'll see. But this is a pretty big undertaking. It basically just means Oklahoma's continuing to try to be at the forefront of what they're doing in NIL. We hear that all the time. I talked to, you know, the executive vice president, Andrew Donovan of Altius, and he talked about how this is going to help them in recruiting. I know that's always the big question. How can you get more 5-star players to the University of Oklahoma? He talked about that and kind of the ways that they can kind of work around, you know, different rules and things like that to ensure that Oklahoma is landing some of the best players and show what NIL deals current players are getting to future possible players that are potentially considering Oklahoma. So all of that to say, it's a big undertaking. Oklahoma has a lot of plans for their NIL future, but this is just another step towards trying to get players connected with more businesses in the local, regional, and even national market.
I think I'll ask the question that everybody wants to know. At the end of the day, this helps NIL, right?
Oh yeah. No, that's the number one thing is it's basically saying, hey, you know, a lot of people look at the collectives and those are important, but this is just another way for the university to help these athletes understand how to grow their brand and also understand the rules and regulations. I mean, these people that they're bringing in will also be directly working with the OU coaches in every sport about how they can best get their student athletes NIL deals.
Very good. It was a great report. You can see it up on Soonerscoop.com if you are interested in reading up more on some of George's reporting there on the OU NIL front. All right, let's get into bold predictions. It's pretty simple. I'll start first. Or do you want to start first?
No,
it doesn't matter to me.
You go ahead.
I'll just go with, I think the defense is going to play really well. I think that they create more than 2 turnovers on Saturday and have more than 5 sacks.
More than 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I think Arkansas State's offensive line, even though that they have brought in the guys that Matt talked about.
Yeah.
You know, it should be a game that Oklahoma wins a lot up front.
I also don't think JT Shrout is necessarily the most mobile quarterback. I'm not positive on that, but I don't think so. I mean, you know, Colorado wasn't great. So I think that's a pretty good prediction. My bold prediction is I think Tawi Walker. We talked a lot about him this week.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
And
I can
thankfully,
already I can hear the yelling from the other room.
Thankfully, he doesn't have a microphone in the production studio. I think Tawi Walker not only leads the team in rushing, but he scores the first touchdown of the season.
You've changed up. I thought it was Marcus Major.
I did. I'm mostly doing this out of spite of Kerry Murdoch, but I do think Tawi's going to have a nice day. I think they're going to run him quite a bit. I do think that Gavin Sawchuk is still a little bit banged up. Javonte
I
Barnes.
could see a case where Gavin Sawchuk doesn't even play on Saturday.
I think there is a chance of that. I just think that there's also some, why waste those guys early in the season? So I think we're going to see a lot of them. And my prediction is Tawi Walker's a goal line guy, obviously a very physical guy.
Sure.
So they get down at the goal line early in the game, and he gets in the end zone.
Very good. So I guess I was going to add one in there. I was going to throw you a curveball and say like MVP of the game. But if you're going to go with Tawi Walker, I'll go with, does it have to be offense? Let's go defense.
Yeah.
Let's go defense. I bet Trace Ford has a pair of sacks on Saturday. How about that?
I think that's a really good prediction. I think they're going to try and get him out there, get back in the groove. Obviously, he's been hurt.
You want to be careful about it, right?
Yeah, but I do think he'll play quite a bit. I think they kind of want him to get some playing time. Obviously, he's been hurt, hasn't played a ton recently, so I'm sure there's some of that game fatigue that they want to get him back into. So I like that prediction. I think that's a good MVP vote. I'm not going to say Tawi Walker's my MVP vote. I think Andrell Anthony might catch a couple touchdown passes.
Okay.
I'll go with him. I think
that'd be a positive moving forward.
Yeah, and I think he'll lead the team in receiving on Saturday as well. I think maybe he catches a big touchdown pass.
Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Score prediction.
Oh, boy. I'm going 48-10. I think that they cover. I think that Oklahoma puts it on them early, probably. I think they could even pitch a first-half shutout. Sure. And I think that's probably the goal. I mean, I'm sure a shutout for the entire game is the goal, but if they can put out a shutout in the first half, I think that would be a huge success for them.
Very good. I'll go 52-13. I think Oklahoma comes out and they play really well. A game that not really a statement game by any means, and it's going to be a little bit unfair, George, because over the first 5 weeks of the season, you're going to walk out. You should be walking out of the first 5 games of Oklahoma season going, they played really well. I just don't know. And then you go into the Cotton Bowl and you really find out what's going to happen with the rest of this season. But like I've been saying all week on the radio, it's like we only get 13 of these a year. Enjoy Saturday. Lindsay Street is back. It's been a lot of fun. It was a good time getting back over there earlier today to film the first portion of this kind of little preview show with Arkansas State. So once again, thank you to Matt Stolz for joining us, the Arkansas State play-by-play man, and thank you, George, for joining us here.
It's a pleasure.
From the back home at the Sooner Scoop Studios. The next time that we talk to you all will be on Saturday evening for the Eskridge Lexus post-game show. Gary Murdoch will be joining us as well, and then Unofficial 40's been fun all week, and if you need anything to kind of recap what these shows have been all about, make sure that you subscribed to Sooner Scoop's YouTube page. I don't think I can talk, and that means that we're about to get to the weekend. So we will talk to you again on Saturday. For now, it has been fun. Have fun down in Norman if you're making the trip for the Oklahoma season opener. We will talk to you next time.